Hi guys, welcome to Get About Life TV. This is where we talk about African culture, traditions and religion. I thank you all for your support on this platform both in cash and in kind. If you are new here, kindly click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe free of charge so that you don't miss anything on this channel. And please, if you want to support me, kindly make use of the join button down below to choose any categories of your choice. Being a member of this platform is a way of showing your support to me. Thank you as you do that. In this video, I want to share with you why do Orisha need blood? So a lot of you are wondering why we offer sacrifice to the Orishas. So without wasting much of your time, let's get into it. Why do Orisha need blood? Understanding why Orisha need blood. The notion that our Orisha, which is the spiritual entities of the Yoruba religion, require blood has been misunderstood, as it is controversial to those who do not understand this notion. So the topic we are treating in this video is why do Orisha need blood? A lot of people, most especially outside Africa, usually question the reason why animal sacrifice happens in the African spirituality or Africa belief system. So in this video, you are going to understand the importance of sacrifice and the reason why our Orishas need blood as far as Yoruba spirituality is concerned. And this notion has been misunderstood. And I believe at the end of this video, those who do not understand the importance definitely will have a rethink and will come to understand that blood sharing, animal blood sharing is very, very important and is one of the practices of African spirituality, African belief system. So let's continue. In the traditional Yoruba religious practices, animal sacrifice, including the use of blood, is often a part of rituals dedicated to the Orisha. There is a misconception that some people are of the opinion that human sacrifice happens in Yoruba spirituality. Is very wrong. That is a very wrong notion. What we offer as sacrifice as far as Yoruba religion is concerned, as far as Ifa is concerned, is animal. So in the traditional Yoruba religious practices, animal sacrifice, including the use of blood, so we use the animal blood to offer sacrifice, is often a part of rituals dedicated to the Orisha. So the sacrifice of animals, different categories of animals are used for sacrifice, including the use of blood. This is very important. So the blood of the animal is what we use for sacrifice as far as Yoruba religion is concerned, as far as Yoruba spirituality is concerned. So it's a part of rituals dedicated to our Orishas. So let's continue. It is important to understand that the significance of blood in these rituals is symbolic and deeply rooted in the religious and cultural beliefs of the Yoruba people. So it is important, you have to understand that animal blood is highly significant to the sacrifice, to the rituals, practices, which is symbolic and deeply rooted in the religious and cultural belief system of the Yoruba people. So it's very important. I think you have understood that. So it is very important to understand that the significance of blood in the rituals is symbolic as far as our belief system is concerned in Yoruba land and Africa at large. So let's continue. In the Yoruba cosmology, blood is seen as a powerful symbol of life force and vitality. So In the Yoruba cosmology, in the Yoruba belief system, blood, and don't forget that we're talking about animal blood here. So blood is seen as a powerful symbol of life force, and vitality. I think that is well understood that blood is very powerful. As we move on, you are going to understand more better. So let's continue. So sacrificial offerings, including blood, that is animal blood, we are talking about animal blood here, are considered a means of communicating with the Orisha and establishing a connection between the physical and spiritual realms. I think this is well understood. So this blood we are talking about, the animal blood we are talking about, is a means of communicating with the Orisha. So we use the blood to energize the energy of our Orishas. So we communicate. So with the sharing of this animal blood, we communicate the Orisha listing and establish a connection between the physical and spiritual realms. So I think that is well understood. So you are understanding why we share animal blood in Yoruba belief system. So sacrificial offerings, including blood, are considered a means of communicating with the Orisha and establishing a connection between the physical and spiritual realm. You know what physical realm means, and you know what spiritual realm is. So the physical realm is what we can see. This physical realms, like you can see me, I can see you, that is physical realms. Why the spiritual realms are unseen, the unseen. And as you know that we are talking about spirit here, we are talking about the spirit of our Orisha. So if you want to connect to the spirit of our Orishas, we use blood. So we use blood to connect, that is animal blood. So let's continue. So the act of offering blood is believed to nourish and energize the Orisha. I've said that. And in return, the Orishas are taught to provide blessings, protection, and guidance to the devotees. So as you can see, so the act of offering blood is believed to nourish and energize the Orishas. So we believe that when we give our Orishas animal blood, then we energize their energy, and in return, we receive blessing, protection, and guidance in return. And that is what we get when we give them blood. When we put the blood on the shrine, or when we put the blood on the representation of a particular Orisha, then we energize such an Orisha. Then we ask for whatever we want. So, and that is what this is talking about. The Orishas are taught to provide blessing. So if it's blessing you want, the Orisha will understand that you need blessing. And if it's protection and if it is guidance, then you are going to receive all of that, you know. And you know who devotees are. Devotees are not only the custodians. So the devotees are not only the custodian, but for those of you who are not custodians, who are not initiates, you are devotees. So far you go to a priest or priestess to carry out a consultation for you, or you want to appease an Orisha, you are a devotee, and that's what devotee is talking about here. So let's move forward. It is crucial to emphasize that the use of blood in traditional Yoruba religious practices is governed by a set of rituals and protocols designed to ensure that the sacrifice is conducted in a respectful and responsible manner. What this is talking about is that there are laid down guidelines, rules, and regulations to follow. So when I say rules and regulations here, I'm not talking about the government rules and regulation here, because we are talking about animal sacrifice. So the rules, the protocol that I'm talking about here is that there are guidelines. There are guidelines to follow to offer a particular sacrifice to a particular Orisha. So you don't just say you have a chicken at home and you bring it out and say you are offering sacrifice to the Orisha. No. So there are set of rituals and protocols designed to ensure that the sacrifice is conducted in a respectful and responsible manner. And that is the job of our custodians, of our Orisha custodians. So it's their job to offer the sacrifice in a respectful and responsible manner. So you don't do that by yourself if you are not a professional or if you are not a trained Orisha custodian. So that is what that is talking about. So then move forward. The animals chosen for sacrifice are typically treated with reverence, and their meat is often shared among communities as part of communal feasting, that is, social integration. So what this reference is talking about, I've said it, that you have to treat the animal you want to use with respect. After the offering of the sacrifice, then the meat of the animal can be shared among the people of the community where the custodian or where the chief priest is, as like a communal feasting. What that means is that the meat can be, because a lot of you will be wondering that what happens to the meat when the blood is being used. There are different ways at which our Babalawo or our Orisha custodians offer sacrifice to different Orishas. Some, they use more than the blood of the animal. Sometimes they can use other parts of the animal like the head, the leg, and thereabout. So, of course, the meat will remain, and in practice, such a meat can be shared among the people in the community where the Babalawo lives, or where the chief priest lives, or where the Orisha custodian lives. So you that you are offering sacrifice to the Orisha, if you want to take from the meat, I think you can talk to your Baba and he is going to give you. But a lot of people do not care about what happens to the meat, because that is not that important. What is important is the sharing of the blood of the animal. So if you are wondering what happens to the meat after sacrifice, it's often shared among the people of the community. So let's move forward. However, it is also important to know that the practice of animal sacrifice, including the use of blood, is a subject of controversy and ethical consideration in contemporary society, for instance, in the United States. So this is very important to talk about, because some of you who are outside Africa, who are outside Nigeria, or you've never been to Africa before, you've lived all your life in the West, we understand how important different categories of animals are to you, especially in the United States. Take for instance, dog. Dog is being used to offer sacrifice to Ogun. So, and in the West, we understand that dog is highly respected over there. So it is important we understand, because the practice we are talking about is African spirituality. And we know that there are a lot of our brothers and our sisters in the West, and they want to practice their ancestral paths. They want to practice the belief system of their ancestors. We understand. So this practice of animal sacrifice, including the use of blood, is a subject of controversy and ethical considerations in contemporary society, for instance, in the United States. So let's move forward. You are going to understand these very points properly. Let's move forward. Now, why it is deeply ingrained in the religious traditions of we Africans, including the Yoruba people, it is also observed that it is a practice that raises questions about animal welfare and ethical treatment of living beings. But we should all understand that animals are equally and generally killed for consumption purposes, such as eating, making of leathers, and etc. So we know that in the West or other part of this world, we understand that they show so much care for animals and all that, but they should equally understand that animals are food for us. We eat animals. So the same way we eat animals, the same way our Orishas eat the blood of animals as well. They take blood. We offer animals as sacrifice to them. So it is the same thing. I think that is well understood. It's straightforward. So let's move forward. However, there are ongoing international discussions and debates about how to reconcile these traditional practices with modern ethical standards. For instance, killing of animal on a live video sharing platform such as YouTube is not allowed. So offering of animals as sacrifice should be at the shrine, which shouldn't be for public viewing. You are welcome back. I hope you have learned something meaningful in this video. Now you know why we share animal blood as far as Yoruba belief system is concerned. In my next video, I am going to share another important topic with you. Thank you as you support me. We are learning together. So this platform is highly dedicated for the teaching of African spirituality, most especially Yoruba belief system. Thank you very much as you support us. Thank you and get a better life.